Football's back, and maybe we don't want the Cardinals passing as much.
Get that stuff out of here. It's Southwest Bias.
Welcome into Southwest Bias, live from Studio K on this fine Monday. Brought to you by our friends over at Circle K. Become a member of the Inner Circle by downloading that Circle K app. And yeah, football's back, baby. Kind of. We had our first taste of preseason football with the Arizona Cardinals on Saturday night, and overall, it felt pretty good. But we all saw it. The internet's freaking out over it. Kyler Murray's interception, where he rolled out and he threw it straight to the linebacker. It's problematic. It wasn't pretty. One angle actually shows it as if he was throwing a no-look pass. I'm not kidding. Go look it up on the internet. There's a camera angle where he's looking to the other side and he throws it to that side. And I get it. Trust in your receiver, Marvin Harrison Jr., sure. That's something you should have. You should feel that. Honestly, the defender probably should have been dropping back on Trey McBride there as well. You know, and Kyler should have had more zip on that pass. But it was ugly. It was concerning. And it's not that big of a deal. Because guess what? It's the first preseason game. And there's always rust. But it actually makes Jonathan Gannon look that much better. Because this is why you actually play your starters in the preseason. So they can get live fire, they can get reps, and they can make their mistakes now rather than when they show up in week one against an opponent in the New Orleans Saints that you need to beat. That is the reality of all this, because other than that interception, Kyler Murray was 7 of 8. After the interception, he was 5 of 5 for 69 yards, and his last 6 passes were for 10 or more yards. He bounced back. He looked good. The offense had life. He had one mistake. He's got, in his career, significantly more touchdowns than interceptions. I know he's been prone to some mistakes, but a lot of quarterbacks are going to. And this one didn't concern me that much. And it didn't seem to concern Kyler all that much when he said this after the game.
I think, you know, if it would have went perfect, you know, it would have, you don't feel like you need to, you know, if there's any corrections that you need to make, you know, I feel like personally, obviously it was 7 for 8. What the one incompletion was interception. For me, that's something that obviously I'm thinking about, regardless of how good it felt to play again and how well we moved the ball. But I think that was good for me. It was good for me to get it out, and just like I said, play football again at that speed. You know, because like I said, you can't replicate it in practice.
So Kyler is obviously thinking about it, didn't like it, but also has the perspective that it is the first preseason game. It wasn't that, though. Like I said, I felt pretty good about the offense. Trey Benson looked great. Loved what I saw from him out of the backfield. Tip Ryman, where did this beast come from? I mean, I know he was a third-round pick. I know he played before, but, like, he looked unbelievable. Great catches, trucking guys, like, he looked fantastic. When they say they've got the best tight end group in the league, you better believe it, because they look fantastic. I don't care what slander that Johnny Venerable is going to put on the name of Tip Ryman on PHNX Cardinals, but right here, you can count us as fans of the Tip, all right? We love Tip Ryman here on Southwest Bias. Overall, I felt even Drew Petzing's play calling gave me hope. Right? He had more passes than runs with the first-team offense out there. He got the ball and spread it around. Marvin Harrison Jr. had a great catch. Overall, I got what I needed to see from the offense, with the exception of that one pick. It's the truth, right? And then even Jacoby Brissett came in and the offense moved. Now it's against second and third stringers from the Kansas City Chiefs, but it's still the same offensive system. And they didn't open up the playbook. You never do. And you don't actually game plan for the other team. I think people take that for granted as well in the Kyler situation. They weren't prepping for Kansas City's defense. They weren't game planning against Kansas City's defense. They were trying things that offense wanted to try. And Kyler, after the game, also felt pretty good in general about what the offense was able to do.
I would say it's the best that I felt within the offense, 3 years in now. And then the guys that we have around, skill position, O-line, the continuity between the O-line, I think everybody's getting a lot more comfortable with each other. You had Will, you got Beach, guys that have played a lot of football, backing up dudes, swing guys. And then the playmakers that we have, I think the sky's the limit.
He's right. The offensive line did their job. There wasn't a lot of pressure on Kyler Murray. That is a group that we've talked about, has to be at the top of their game if this team is going to win and have a chance to succeed. But if you're sitting there on the internet freaking out about Kyler Murray's one interception and not looking at it in a totality, you might need to take a look at yourself, especially those of you that are calling for Jacoby Brissett to be the starter. It's week 1 of the preseason. It's the first week in August. And it was one series against a team you weren't game planning for. Now, if I see that same kind of interception in week 1 against New Orleans, yeah, you can put your hand over that panic button and get ready to smash it down, right? You can do that if he does it in the regular season. But right now, I'm not overly concerned. But maybe that's just my Southwest bias. We welcome in the mustache behind the Mac, Shane Diefenbach. How are you, my friend?
I am wonderful.
How do you feel about Kyler and the Cardinals after game 1 of the preseason?
Well, since everybody wants to talk about the interception, I think it's as simple as he. So first, when I saw the pick, obviously my first reaction was like everybody, oh no, because I thought it was a height thing at first. I thought there might have been somebody in front of him, and he just clearly did because obviously he did not see the linebacker in the flat. And yeah, as somebody pointed out on Twitter, he was that linebacker was definitely not supposed to sit. He was supposed to follow McBride to the flat. But it's a combination of the two things. He tried a no-look pass. He tried to look off either the safety that was behind Marv or that linebacker in the flat. And just assuming that linebacker was going to come down while he was looking away, he then threw the interception and made it look a lot worse than it was. That being said, it was a horrible pick, but it was done in the preseason, and I don't think he's going to try that crap in a regular season meaningful game.
Now, I kind of feel like he was like, Pat Mahomes is in the building. Let's show him a little of his own medicine here. I think my bigger concern, I didn't talk about it off the top in dry heat, but I don't think that pass was getting to Marvin Harrison Jr. if the defender wasn't there. I feel like if he put a little bit more on it, we're not having this conversation. We're talking about probably a great catch from Marv on the sideline.
Yep. I
think that was more concerning to me than not seeing the defender on a no-look pass. It was the pass wasn't particularly great, but I'm not overly concerned in that regard. Big shout out to the bias in the chat, Rudy, Shaft, Math of the Power of Joe, everybody that's in there. We appreciate you, and we'll take a look at your comments in a little while. But Shane, we were working this weekend downtown, and I left. I got stuck in traffic on the 60 for 2.5 hours. The complete shutdown, a police issue, but have you ever been stuck in a car and had to pee so bad? Like, have you ever?
Oh yeah, that happened to me at Camp T this week.
Oh my God, it was unbelievable. Plus, I have a theory, Shane, that if you want to learn about human beings, there's 2 things that you should watch them do: whether they put the cart away in a parking lot? Because if you don't put your cart away and you just dump it wherever, I make certain judgments about you.
It's also just lazy.
Oh, it's 100% lazy. I mean, I get it if you're a mother that has like 3 kids and you can't leave fine. There's certain, like everything in life, there's terms and conditions that apply. But if you are just leaving your cart there because you just are leaving your cart there, I got issues with you. The other thing I judge, and 2.5 hours sitting stuck on a freeway, if you are stuck in that situation and you are perpetually cutting people off and being a jerk and then getting in the shoulder and trying to somehow get off the freeway even though the shoulder's all blocked, you're an asshole. That's what I'm going to say today on the program after all that, that you are part of the problem, a massive part of the problem if you're doing that. So.
Yeah. Third thing, if you recline on an airplane,
if they okay, I have a problem. If they don't want, they should not make the seat recline. If that's something that they can't do.
I think it's Are
you talking full recline where they're essentially laying in your lap? Like a little bit, I think.
No.
I think that's okay.
No.
All right.
I'm a tall guy, and I never recline my chair.
I mean, I'm not tall, so maybe that's part of it. The other thing, another thing coming up this week is the NBA is going to announce something. Nothing major. I mean, at least not to me. They're going to announce their schedule this week. And there is nothing I care less about. Well, maybe nothing. Then a schedule release. Leagues make this such a big deal. And essentially, you're getting Google Calendar invites for something that's happening 3 to 6 months from now. Maybe the NFL makes a little bit more sense because maybe you're traveling to games, you want the schedule. But for the average fan, outside of maybe like Christmas Day games, which they leak a week and a half before the rest of the schedule, do I really care who the Pelicans are playing on a random Tuesday in February? I mean, hell, do I really care who the Suns are playing in a random Tuesday in February? Not really, if I'm a fan, but it's a big pomp and circumstance, and they're getting all excited. I am excited, though, that we get to see the NBA on NBC come back. So that'll be a big thing. I'm looking forward to that. So let's take a look at some of the comments from the biased in the chat. Rudy says, Jacoby Brissett impressed me. Good backup. I agree. I liked what I saw. I mean, he finished 5 of 8, 81 yards, 2 touchdowns. Granted, DeMarcado did most of the work on that first touchdown. So, but I liked what I saw from Jacoby Brissett as well. Somebody in the chat was talking about, man, you need you need to have Carson Wentz here. No, you don't need. It was Boom Shakalaka somewhere talking about it. No, Carson Wentz is not a real QB. You need to go. And then, Jordan says, when my sciatic nerve stuff is acting up, I sure do appreciate when I can pull up in a parking spot where someone has not put away their cart so I can lean on it quick. There's always an exception to the rule, right, Jordan? On the other side of the break, I'm going to lean on the mustache behind the Max expertise. And we're going to talk about something that he got to experience this weekend and know it was not helping me do construction. We'll talk about that right after the break. Our friends at Circle K. I told you, we're in Studio K, and I love nothing more than doing my show in Studio K. And we got a surprise for you next Monday. But if you want to become a member of the Inner Circle, Circle K's got you covered. Download their app and sign up. And it's a super simple process. And guess what? You're going to get rewarded like a king. You're going to get 25 cents off per gallon for your first 5 fill-ups. Then 3 cents off per gallon after that, and 5 cents once you hit that Espo level. You've heard me talk about it. If you have not become an Inner Circle member by this point, why haven't you? What are you waiting for? Join today. It's super easy, and you're going to get deals on Polar Pop, 79 cents, Frosters, 99 cents. Right now, if you buy 3 20-ounce Coke products in the bottle, you're going to get 25 cents off per gallon on your next fill-up. They want to take care of you, so become a member of the Inner Circle today by by downloading the Circle K app for free. Terms and conditions apply like they do in life. At participating locations, visit CircleK.com for details. And guess what? There's something big coming up. It is NASCAR. It's championship weekend, and it's coming up this fall, October 31st through November 2nd. It is the biggest party. Forget Halloween parties. This is going to be the biggest party in the Valley, and it is NASCAR's crowning jewel at one of the most beautiful venues we have in the state, Phoenix Raceway. If you haven't been out there, you got to go out there and check it out. I loved being out there for a race last year, getting in the Desert Diamond Casino infield. That experience is unlike any other. You get to be near the drivers. There's a concert. You get to watch the drivers walk out to their cars, and then you get to experience the race like no other. Highly recommend you go out there and do it. Tickets, hospitality, and upgrades are still available, so act now. Get yours now at the link in our show notes. Shane, I mentioned it before the break. We're going to talk about something that you are well versed on, right? We're going to talk about the ASU Sun Devils. Big news this morning. The AP Top 25 came out. And I know it's not the same as it used to be with the AP Top 25, because back in the day, that was the gospel.
It still matters a lot.
It's important in
the first 5 weeks or however long.
It's important before the college football playoff ranking comes out. But ASU ranked 11th overall. I think it's a pretty fair spot to land in. I mean, it's higher than they were last year. It is.
Yeah, you can say that.
I mean, but at the end,
no, they were ranked in the top 10 last year.
Were they in the top 10 in the playoff? Okay.
Well, I mean, they were number 4 because of the seeding, but I think in the AP they were ranked.
Okay. Regardless, I think 11th is fair here, especially losing Cam Scattaboo. But this team has a lot of expectations. They're favored in every game right now as it stands. Did you feel 11th was fair for this Sun Devil squad?
Yeah, that's what I predicted last week on Friday. I thought that's where they were going to land. Actually, I said that's where they should land, and I predicted them to probably be 13 or 14. I thought they were going to be behind Illinois, and everyone was going to get angry. That wasn't the case. I think they did it correct. I think aside from every other team, I haven't looked into it very much, but ASU feels like the 11th ranked team in the country going into this year.
I'm concerned they might be a little overhyped right now, because losing Cam, who down that stretch was Mr. Everything for this team, is a big hit. And I get it. Leavitt is going to take that jump, but are they prone for a little bit of a slide back after the end of that season? Is there a chance that this team's a little too overhyped and they get one or two of those losses, you go, well, that's not a game they should have lost?
No, because this team got better in the offseason. They didn't get worse by losing Scat. They got better. It is 2025. Mm-hmm. Keeping 10 out of your 11 defensive starters is unheard of. Nobody does that.
Agreed.
And you didn't have a bad defense. You had one of the best defenses, not only in the Big 12, but in the country. I think you have the best defense in this conference, and I don't think it's close. You have two of the best coordinators in the country and one of the best up-and-coming head coaches. Not to mention you bring back your starting quarterback and best offensive weapon outside of Cam Scattaboo with Jordan Tyson. Jordan Tyson didn't play in the college football playoff. And they almost beat the number 1 team in the country this year. That's going into this year in Texas. You have to value continuity in an age where there is none.
Yeah, but I agree on the defensive end, but offensively, you need Sam Leavitt to play up to, there's Heisman talk with Sam Leavitt. I feel like you have to have him play up to that level for you to reach what everybody wants you to be back-to-back Big 12 champions, to be back in the college football playoff, to be part of the discussion potentially for a national championship. And I think that's a lot of weight, right? And it seems like Sam Leavitt will be able to carry it, but that's a lot being on that offensive end, riding on his shoulders to live up to that. And we saw flashes of it last year, especially down the stretch, but is he that guy?
at the quarterback position, I don't think you look at the quarterback with this team. I think you look at what Kenny Dillingham's done with his quarterbacks.
Fair enough.
Bo Nix was objectively horrible at Auburn at the end of it, at the end of his time there. And he showed flashes of brilliance. I mean, everybody thinks about that play against, I think, Alabama, whoever it was against, where he spins and pirouettes and throws an unbelievable ball, and everyone's like, that's what Bo Nix can do. And he never was able to do that consistently until he got to Oregon, until Kenny Dillingham got in his ear, until we saw the time and time, or the week after week progression and how good he was to eventually become that top 10 pick like he was for Denver. Now you're doing this with a guy who was already good last year, who now has 2 years of Kenny. I would be shocked if he takes a step back.
I'm not saying a step back, but I mean, he wasn't in the Heisman conversation. He needs to take a step up. That's what I feel.
And I would be shocked if he doesn't do that. 24 touchdowns to 6 interceptions last year on a team that did not have as many offensive weapons in the passing game as they do this year. Last year you had Jordan Tyson, and that's about it. You had Xavier Guillory, who was there to be your deep threat, who was good in big situations and big moments, but not consistently time after time. You had all of these what could have been with Malik McClain, what could have been with Melquan Stovall, what could have been with a bunch of other players, and that never panned out. Now you have a bona fide 2 in Jalen Moss. You have one of the most exciting players in camp right now across the country in Jaron Hamilton. And for those ASU football fans that don't know too much about him, he's an Alabama transfer. That a name like that will push you forward, but not as much as play has pushed him forward. He's an absolute burner. His nickname is Turbo for a reason. He's had such a good camp. You have 3 guys that I would feel comfortable trotting out there every single play, and your number 1 receiver in the Peach Bowl, who that is not named Cam Scatterboom, Malik McClain, has had an unbelievable camp. Again, would be shocked if he doesn't take a huge step forward this year.
Schaff in the chat says, I sure hope that Sam can handle the pressure this year without Cam pulling for him. I think you brought up one of the reasons that he can. Kenny Dillingham and his approach to quarterbacks. And he talked about it after Saturday's practice, and I think it's pretty enlightening.
I mean, I just asked him, what do you see? Why did you throw that? Why do you like that? Would you prefer a different call? Why did you not work this side of the field? Why did you change this pro? Why didn't you? I asked more questions than actually tell him what to do. At the end of the day, they're going to see the game how they see it, right? They may never see it like me. That's not my job. My job is to understand how a quarterback sees it, not get a quarterback to see it like me, right? And if I understand how they see it, maybe I can tweak how they see it in their own way that is closer to me, but not the same way. You can't coach everybody the same. Not everybody's a robot, right? So I just like to listen and get feedback from him, and then give me what I saw, and then ask him, well, if you would have saw that, what would you have done different or anything? And I just like to communicate. But I think it all starts with what he sees.
Look, I'm not going to blow smoke up Kenny's backside. There's plenty of people who do that aren't me, but that's good management advice, let alone coaching advice. You can't manage or coach everybody exactly the same way. You can't expect them to be you either, because it's just not going to happen. And I love that he's sitting there saying he's talking to Sam Leavitt, getting in his head, trying to see things the way he sees it so he can help adjust it, right? Because Sam Leavitt isn't Bo Nix. You know, Sam Leavitt isn't any quarterback that Kenny has coached. Sam Leavitt's Sam Leavitt. So you got to look at it and go, how can I connect with him? How can I put him in the position to succeed? I don't think you hear very many coaches talk about it like that, where he's asking his quarterback questions to understand how he's seeing it and then adjusting the way he's talking and approaching it to fit the way his quarterback sees it. That gives me a lot of confidence in what they're going to be able to do this year.
Yeah, that's Kenny. That's why he's truly one of one. He works unlike any other coach in college football, especially nowadays. You have so much faith in him at the quarterback position. And going back to Nix, like the same thing with Jordan Travis, why he became such a such a star in college football before the injuries, it was because of Kenny Dillingham. And I actually got a chance to ask him a question about Kenny 2 years ago at the NFL Combine, and his eyes lit up as soon as I mentioned him. Like, the people talk about Kenny not like a head coach. They talk about Kenny like a person, because he is truly a friend. He wants to connect with you, and that works so much better than trying to just X's and O's a guy.
But I don't think it's like want to be a friend, like the player friendly coach. I think it's wants to understand the guy, and that is key to great management. And I wouldn't know, but that's what I've been told. It's key to great management. But Sam talked about after the practice just how ready he is and how the offense feels.
Oh, completely different mindset, more grown up, different goals, different aspirations. A year into the system, new roles for me. So it's just, it's a lot different in a lot of ways.
Have you seen any change in any of your teammates as well, kind of adapting that same mindset?
We know what we can do this year. So it's just going to be, coming to practice every single day, not focusing on our self-accomplishments or outside noise, and, just being team-oriented.
It's the right mindset. That's what you want to hear from your quarterback. Matt to the power of Joe says, Scattaboo the legend just opened the door. Now we need the entire team to keep bringing more guys through it to make ASU consistently good every year, which never happens. Agreed. This is a kind of a put up or shut up year. If you take multiple steps back, everybody's going to go back to ASU's still a sleeping giant, we guess, and it's not, it's not here yet. But hopefully it will be for the ASU fans. Big thing that got a lot of attention over the last few days nationally, though, was Camp Tontozona. It's like people didn't realize that this has been a 65-year tradition, and all of a sudden, for the first time ever, photos showed up. It's like Bigfoot. They're like, oh my gosh, look at this, in the woods even. Shane, you've been to Camp Tontozona multiple times. What is your read of the experience, and were you surprised that the national media all of a sudden realized that there was a place like that?
No, because the last time that ASU became relevant during camp was in 2013, probably. So, you get an 8 year. Whoa. You get it's 2025.
It's 12 years.
You get a 12-year gap. People forget really fast.
That's fair.
Yeah, no, it didn't surprise me because this is the most spotlighted ASU has been maybe ever because of the year or the world we live in with social media.
As a U of A grad, I'm not allowed up there. You didn't know they actually check your college diploma. So what is it like at Camp Tontozona?
It's magical.
Explain to me why it's so great.
Because it's a football field in the middle of trees. Like it like there's not really more you can say. It's that awesome. Like it is such a unique setting. And you know what I saw? I saw somebody comment, "Oh, but the bugs are probably horrible." No, there are no bugs here. It was 90 degrees out. Like
what? Why? Who cares about some bugs?
Well, like mosquitoes are horrible in the
they
forest.
Think it's like Australia with these like 4 foot long.
No,
bugs?
but like in the Midwest and in the Southeast when it gets all like when the weather is nice, the bugs come out and it's horrible.
Fair enough.
There are no bugs here. It is perfect. The camaraderie is awesome. Kenny was talking to us about how he wishes he was able to experience for what it is. He was like, I've had 0 s'mores out here, but everyone else gets to enjoy it, and I have to work. But that's what it is. Like when we talked to the players after the scrimmage, like all of them, we asked all of them, what was your favorite part off the field? And so many of them said like the hiking and seeing like what we were last year. They did like time capsules this year to write to themselves next year. And it's just something you don't get in college football. They sleep in cabins together. Like it's amazing.
It sounds like my worst nightmare. I do not like the outdoors. Shane, we need to get Coach Dillingham on the program and make some s'mores on here.
We should.
We need. Let's call up Kenny. We'll get a little stove. We'll make some s'mores to make him feel like he got the true camp experience. That's another Southwest Bias in the books. A big thanks to the mustache behind the Mac, Shane Diefenbach. You can follow him at Shane Dief. You can follow the program at PHNX_sports. You can follow me at Espo. And remember, just because your quarterback throws a bad pick in the preseason doesn't mean you should freak out. But if he does it in the regular season, all bets are off. Ahoy, hoy!
We all silly like the mayor.